Amen.
It reports like this. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. And on this wise showed he himself. There were together Simon Peter, and Thomas called Didymus, and Nathanael of Cana of Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, I go a fishing. They said unto him, we also go with you. They went forth and entered into a ship immediately, and that night they caught nothing. But when the morning was now come, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples knew not that it was Jesus. Then Jesus said unto them, children, have you any meat? They answered him,
No.
And he said to them, cast the net on the right side of the ship, and you shall find.
Yeah.
They cast that far, and now they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fishes. Therefore that disciple, whom Jesus loved, said unto Peter, it is the Lord. Now when Simon Peter heard that it was the Lord, he girded his fishing coat unto him, for he was naked, and did cast himself in the sea. And the other disciples came in a little ship, for they were not far from land.
Yeah.
But as it were 200 cubits, dragging the net full
Yeah.
of fishes.
In a
And
little
as soon as they were come to land,
Yeah.
they saw a fire coals there, and fish laden thereon and bread. Jesus said to them, bring of the fish which you have now caught. Simon Peter went up and drew the net to land full of great fishes, and 153. And for all there were so many, yet was not the net broken. Will you bow your head with me?
Yeah.
Father God, in the name of Jesus,
Oh, what a precious name.
we thank you for the encounter.
Oh, yes, we do.
Lord God, we thank you for your presence.
Yes, we do,
But
Father.
Lord God, you said you'll make your presence in our praise.
Yes.
And we thank you, Lord God. That, Lord, we can even set the atmosphere.
Thank you today.
Lord God, even in our praise.
Yeah, I need it.
Father, you said we can take it a little higher,
Yes.
Lord, with our praise.
Yes, God.
That's why David said, oh, magnify
Yeah, the Lord with
with
me.
Let
Let
us exalt his name together. He go on to say, praise is comely
To the
of
upright.
the upright.
That's it.
So, Lord
Hallelujah.
God, the temporary psalmist said, Lord, praise is what?
I do.
We do.
Yeah.
So, Lord God, you said we were designed and we was created, Lord, to praise.
Yes,
You
God.
said if we don't, creation will
Yeah.
praise you.
That's what you said, God.
And Lord God, we don't want the rocks to cry
No,
Lord God, on our behalf.
no, we don't, Father.
So, Lord God, we
Yeah,
thank
God.
you, Lord God.
Thank you.
Whether we voluntarily do it or not,
Yes,
you
God.
still will get all the
Yeah,
praise.
you are, God.
You
Yeah.
still will get all the glory.
Yes, you are, God.
You will still get all the honor.
Yes, you are, God.
So, Lord, I'll voluntarily, Lord God,
Voluntarily do it, God.
lift up my voice
Yes, God.
and give your
Hallelujah.
glory in this place.
Yeah, in this place,
The
God.
Lord, you've been good to
Yeah,
us,
you've
Lord
been so
God.
good, God.
Better than we ever been to ourselves.
Yeah,
to you, Lord God.
Thank you,
So,
Lord.
Lord God, we thank you on that behalf,
Thank
Lord
you
God.
today. Thank you,
And
Lord.
Father, Paul said we ought to give thanks, Lord God.
Yes.
In every circumstance,
Yes, God.
every
Yes, God.
situation, Lord God.
Yes, Lord.
You're still worthy of our thanks,
Yes,
Lord
you
God.
are. Yes, you are, God.
Even when we're in the valley, you're worthy of our
Oh, yes,
thanks, Lord
God.
God.
Thank you, Lord
Even
God.
in the midst of our storms, Lord
Yes,
God, you're
yes,
still
Lord.
worthy of a thank you, Lord God.
Yes,
We thank you, Lord God, that we don't have to wait once a year, Lord God,
Yes.
to say thank you.
Hallelujah.
Father, we don't have to be like the lepers,
No,
Lord
we
God.
don't, God.
The 9 that left, Lord God, only one came back.
Yes.
It's not God said, Lord, I thank
Thank
you.
you.
God, I thank you that you cured us from leprosy, Lord.
Yes.
Cured us from sin, Lord God.
Yes, God.
Cured us from sickness and disease.
you.
That's why we should stop by this morning, Lord God.
Yes, God. Thank you,
Let the
Lord.
prophet say, Lord, thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for help and
Thank you.
strength, Lord God.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jesus.
Jesus.
For that has been the land we call the living, Lord God.
Yes.
We just stop by to say thank you, Lord
Thank you,
God.
Lord God.
There was somebody, Lord God,
Yes.
that woke up this morning, Lord
Yes.
God, and to say thank you.
Thank you, Lord.
But Lord, you allow us, Lord
Yes,
God,
you did, God.
to say thank you.
Yes, you did, God. Yes.
And we give you the glory.
We give you
We
the
give you the
glory.
honor.
Yes.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. Amen. 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 God bless you. Amen. Amen. Amen.
I want to preach from a subject this morning.
Amen. Amen.
Don't get back in what God got you out of.
Uh-oh. Watch out now.
Don't
get back in.
back in what
God.
God
Wow.
got you
Wow. Out of.
out
My God.
of. I'll repeat that one more time. Because this has blessed me tremendously on my growth and my progress. When I apply this to my life. Don't get back in what God got you out of. As we look at our text, even this morning, we now introduce to Jesus different than we ever saw him before. He's now risen from the grave. And this is now the third time he appears to the disciples.
Right.
The first time he appeared to the disciples was when they was behind closed doors. When they was frightened and they was scared and they was trembling because it was no longer popular to follow Jesus.
Yes.
All before they was talking about who could be on the right hand and who all could be on the left. Who was going to be the greatest in God's kingdom. They're no longer talking about that anymore because of the trials and the persecution that comes with now following Jesus. And the second time that they encountered the risen Christ was when it was behind closed door again, but this time he showed up just for Thomas. To let Thomas know that you can touch my hands and you can touch my feet. You can see the holes in my hands and my feet. That I am the risen Christ. But on this occasion was something totally different. He meets the disciples at the Sea of Galilee, but in the King James Version said the Sea of Tiberias. He meets them now, not in private, but he now reveals himself in public. And our text says that he reveals himself to 7 of the disciples. Who was the 7? The 7 is Simon Peter, Thomas called Didymus or twin, Nathanael, Cana in Galilee, and the sons of Zebedee, that's James and John, the sons of thunder. And the 2 other of his disciples, we call them no names, or one that he failed to mention. But in the midst of that is some information packed that needs to be unpacked.
All right.
And what needs to be unpacked is that every disciples who have an encounter with Jesus have a different experience with Jesus.
That's right.
Even at the Sea of Tiberias, even at the Sea of Galilee, that all 7 of these disciples had a different experience with Jesus. Let me help you as I unpack this thing. Because Simon Peter's experience was different than Thomas and Nathanael. Simon Peter's experience was with Jesus when Jesus encountered him when he was looking for a dream team. When Jesus went out looking for some disciples to carry on his mission. The scripture said he did not go to the church. He did not go to the synagogue, but he went to the Sea of Galilee. And at the Sea of Galilee that he meets Peter on the boat. And he tells Peter, follow me. Peter forsook all to follow Jesus. And Nathanael and Thomas' experience was totally different. The only reason they had an encounter with Jesus was because Andrew and Philip introduced them to Jesus. It was Nathanael who was under the tree, and when Jesus had to show him by prophecy or revelation of who he was, it said that even before I called thee, I seed you under the tree. Oh, it was Nathanael who said that he said the famous words that we always quote, could anything good come out of Nazareth? Here's the one that needs to be explained to, that Jesus was the one that Moses and them talked about. It was Thomas' experience totally different, because he was faithless and didn't have faith. And he blessed us when Jesus blessed us with the famous words, blessed those who have not seen me and yet believe. And then the sons of Zebedee experience was totally different as well, because they was also mending their nets, and they was on their father's ship with the higher servants. And when this young rabbi came by and said, would you follow me? And the Bible said that he forsook all and followed Jesus. But the other two disciples that we have no name or know who they really are, but we know that their experiences was totally different. Pastor, you said, why did you say all this to get to what you need to get to? It's because that everybody sitting here experience with Jesus is totally different.
That's right.
And why did you say that? Because the Sea of Tiberias, the Sea of Galilee, was the launching pad of Jesus' ministry. That means that now that every single one of them are familiar with the Sea of Tiberias or the Sea of Galilee, because this is where ministry began. It's amazing that as we look at our text this morning, if we really look at this thing, let's look at how far they came and where they at now. 3.5 years ago, this place was the place where Jesus did most of his ministry. Fast forward 3.5 years later, things are totally different. Jesus is now dead, but now back alive. But now the disciples don't know what to do with their lives. Isn't it amazing that you can go, that you know what you want to do, confident what God called you to do, and the moment that he's not around anymore in the way you think he should be around, you don't know what to do in your life. And so if they didn't know what to do, when you don't know what to do, you'll go back what you used to do. Let me repeat that again. When you don't know what to do, you'll go back doing what you used to doing. How do you know? Verse 3 tells me in my particular text. Verse 3 in my particular text says this. Now Simon Peter said unto them, I go a-fishing. Let's look what he said. Look what he said. Simon Peter says, I go a-fishing. I had to stop right there because I like to eat my text like I like to eat my chicken wings. And what I really mean by that, I don't like to leave no meat on the bones.
You need to quit.
And so what I'm saying is that John, other than Luke and then other than Matthew and Mark, says that he gives him 2 first names. I had to stop right here. Now Peter is not his last name. Peter is his first name. Now who says Simon Peter? Who calls someone by their first name twice? So Simon is the name that his biological father gives him at birth. Peter is the name that his heavenly father gives him for his destiny, or which is calling on his life. And so look at the arrangement of his name. They didn't say Peter Simon, but they said Simon Peter. And so what you see here is that now you see the old dealing with the new. You're seeing with the flesh filling with the spirit. And what you see is now that instead of him being led by the name that Jesus given him, what we call Petrus, or we call him the rock. And now it's as he's vacillating of who he really is. Is he Simon or is he Peter? And I had to stop right there because some of y'all say, Pastor, that don't mean nothing to me. But every now and then, the old you shows up.
That's right.
You look like the same person, look like the same individual. You speak like that individual. But every now and then, you'll still have an internal struggle of who's going to show up.
Yeah.
And Peter now, look at this thing. Simon or Peter is going to show up. I'm going to show you my text. And I'm going to back it up that Simon shows up, but not Peter. Now, Peter says this, I go a-fishing. Some of y'all say, what that mean, Pastor? What that mean? That means that Simon Peter decided that he's going to go back to fishing.
Yeah.
That means that he's done with the ministry. He's no longer preaching. He's no longer healing the sick. Peter says that I'm going back to what I know how to do. Peter says, I'm going back to where I found success. Brothers and sisters, we don't want to find ourselves like Simon Peter. Going back to what God got us out of. Instead of him making progress, he's going backwards. After 3.5 years of God working with Peter, because he don't know what to do, he's going back to what's familiar. And instead of him making progress, he's going backwards.
Say that.
Some of us think that even though we go forward, mean that we're making progression. But not in every case. In this case, he's moving, but he's moving backwards.
Say it.
Some of us think that we're making progress and moving forward, but we understand that we're actually going backwards. How do you know? Because when Jesus called Peter, when he called the disciples, he called them to do something with which they was not qualified to do. He gave them assignment or calling with which it was not even in existence until he called them. Remember, I was told you there was only few occupations or jobs that they can do in their life, or be a farmer, a blacksmith, a carpenter. But he made them disciples. He made them fisher of men. And so they won't go from a higher calling to a lower calling. Brothers and sisters, what you have to understand that you think that your occupation is higher than your calling. And so some of us got it twisted, some of us got it bad, we think that because we got a high position at our job, it means that it's a higher calling than which Jesus called you to do. That's why in Ephesians he talks about our vocation. He talks about the job that he tasked and he called us to do. The highest calling is the calling that God assigned you to do.
Amen.
He went from a high calling to a low calling. All because he wanted to go back to that which is familiar. I'm going to talk to you because it's not hard to go back to things you know how to do. It becomes familiar. Peter says to his disciples, to his buddies, his homeboys, his group, he said, I go a fishing. Had to stop right there.
Who go fishing by themselves? No one. I don't care how you, no expert fishing go fishing by themselves. The kind of fishing they did back in those days wasn't out with a fishing rod.
No, it wasn't. That's right.
It was with a net. Now, this doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
For Peter to say out, look, that's what he said. Simon Peter says out loud,
Yeah, I'm going fishing.
I'm going fishing. Now, I'm not even an expert fisher. And I know that it takes more than one person to load down or handle the net.
That's right.
Let me stop you there. Let me say it. It takes more than one person to deal with the kind of shit that they have in the first place.
That's right. That's right.
Why in the world would Simon Peter says out loud, I go
Fishing.
fishing? The reason why he said it out loud, because he wanted others
To go with
to
it.
go with him.
Yeah, take them back to that.
Because if that was not the case, all he had to do
Just get in there
is
and go.
just go.
That's it. Yeah, to have some company. Come on now.
We don't want to do things.
On our own. Come on here. We got to have some help. Come on here.
We don't want to see. So you understand. We don't understand. No, when we want others
To be involved.
to be involved with
That's
us.
it. Come on here, Pastor. You preaching. Read.
Now, check this out. None of them said, Peter,
We going with you.
I don't think this is a good idea, Peter. Huh? No, Peter, no. I don't think this is an idea. Now, you would think that, that's why I explained each one of the different disciples, each one of their experiences. You'll think that the non-fishermen, who was they? Nathaniel. Nathaniel would say, Peter,
That ain't a good idea.
that ain't a good idea, man. You know I ain't no fisherman. You would think Thomas would spoke up and say, Peter, I ain't no fisherman.
Wow.
To the contrary, you know what they say? Peter! We also are going
Going fishing.
fishing with
With you.
you.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you how easy it is to get back to what's familiar.
Sure ain't hard, Pastor. Amen. Ain't hard. Ain't a hard thing to do.
And it's not hard to get others
That is, got to follow along. Come on,
to
man.
follow
Amen.
along.
That's it.
Because the enemy is not going to fight with you if you decide
To go. Yeah, if you join
To
in,
go.
it ain't going to stop you. Amen.
there's going to be no storm.
I'll tell you that. Amen.
There'll be no trial.
No, it's not.
He makes it easy
Yeah.
as possible
Yeah, easy accent.
for you to do what is familiar.
That's right.
Simon Peter just had a suggestion. Already made up his mind. What is he going to do?
Yeah.
And the rest of the six says, Peter, you going to go?
You going to?
We're going to go and we're going to follow
Yeah, they said, me too.
you.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Glory to God.
Look how easy X that is. They says that immediately. That's what the text says. The text says, listen, the text says immediately they got into the ship. I had to stop there. Look how available it is to get back into
What God brought you out
what
of.
God brought you out. Okay, let me help. Because y'all look at me crazy. Okay, look at me crazy. Okay. God delivered you from something.
Right.
Let's call it drugs.
All right. Right.
If we want to call it that, yes, we call it that.
Right. Wow.
Folks show up on your door. Never shed They weed with you before.
All right now. All of a sudden. Yeah, here they come.
Right there, right, am I right? Right there, accessible, available.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right. That's right. Amen.
Whatever it is, that man.
Yeah.
Right there, accessible. You know you're supposed to go back because that's backwards, that's not progress.
That's right.
But
That's
you're
right.
familiar with that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But it makes it so accessible and available. Look how easy. The ship is right there for them to get in.
That's right.
Right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. That's how easy it is to fall back to what which God got you out of.
That's right.
And
That's
so,
right.
and so I was on the couch about 8 months ago. And I heard God's voice. I heard him says, Andre, don't be like the pig that wallowed back in the mud. Or don't be like that dove that returned to his vomit.
Right.
And I had to first check him out. I said, Lord, what are you talking about? I know in the context of our text, he's talking about sin, but he was talking to me is that I can't go back to what is familiar. If I want to go to where he wants me to go at.
That's right.
And he began to explain that most Christians don't get where they need to go at because they're too familiar what they're familiar with. And so they're so familiar what they're familiar with, in the back of their mind, they think about plan B.
Yeah.
Because if the ministry don't work out,
Uh-oh. Watch out now.
I can always go back to what I used to do.
That's it.
And a lot of us said the same thing. I'm going to leave this job, I'm going to leave it open.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna call.
Because just in case,
Just in case it don't work out.
if it doesn't work out,
All right, Pastor, you preaching now.
I can go back.
That's it. Yeah, God.
We leave the door open to what is familiar.
Yeah.
And then when we leave that door open,
Watch out, Pastor. Look now.
next thing you know,
Let's
you're
see.
doing the very thing which God brought
My.
you out of.
That's right.
God brought them out of being fishermen so they could become fishers
Of men.
of men. To only go back to a low-level job,
Yeah.
a low-level calling,
Come on here. Wow.
to go fishing
My God.
for fish.
My.
After being with Jesus 3.5 years,
Jesus.
after seeing all the
Look
miracles,
now. Look.
after being elevated,
Wow.
you reduce yourself and says that,
Wow.
I want to go fishing. And the Bible says that they fished that night and caught nothing.
Yeah.
Only to go back and to fail.
Yeah. They went from what sin. Glory to God. Amen.
Only to, listen, they went back to do what was
That's
convenient and familiar with them.
That's right.
And when they went back, it didn't even
Yeah, it didn't work.
work. What are you saying, Pastor? What worked for you back then,
Yeah, it ain't gonna work now.
don't mean it's going to work for you now.
That's right. Amen. I take it now.
Because you ain't called to fish.
That's it.
Not
fishing.
Not fishing.
Amen.
But you called to be fishers
Of men.
of men.
That's it. Amen.
God has a way that when we want to go back,
He'll close it
we
down.
go back to that job.
He'll shut it.
You was getting along with everybody.
Ain't gonna be no peace there.
Everybody tripping. You can't understand. You can't understand the computer acting up. The boss acting up.
That's right.
The co-worker used to get along acting up.
That's it.
The assignments you used to complete, you can't complete.
Wow.
But what you used to find success in, You don't find it anymore.
That's right.
And the Bible says that that night, they didn't catch anything. Now you got to tell me that you worked that hard
All night long.
all night long to go backwards
And didn't get nothing out of it.
and then produce nothing
That's
out of
it.
it. I want to ask you a question.
Wow.
Look how hard we have to work
Yeah, come on, Pastor.
when we go back.
That's right. Amen.
And
Amen.
only to realize
Mm,
that we waste a lot of energy
that's right.
and a lot of time
That's right.
and then get nothing
Nothing done.
out of it. No satisfaction, no joy, no happiness,
That's
nothing out of it, but we wasted a whole lot of time
That's right.
because we wanted to go back to our plan B. We want to go back to that was for me.
Mm-hmm.
The very thing that God called them out of, they found themselves
Going back to.
going back to.
All right now.
And Jesus
Wow.
says to them, after they failed attempt, Jesus says, children, do y'all have any meat?
See?
Well, Jesus knew.
Yeah, he knew they didn't have none.
They failed. They responded,
No.
no.
They were honest. Amen.
Jesus knows that without him, you're a failure.
That's right. That's right. Amen. Amen.
You can't go off your degrees,
No, we
your
can't touch
education,
them.
your
Amen.
abilities.
That's right. That's right.
And Jesus says to them, children, endearment. He didn't rebuke them.
No, he didn't.
He said, children.
Mm-hmm.
Because he understands what his kids going to do.
That's right. Yes, he does.
And he says, children, you have it in me, then answer and says no. And look what he says. He tells them, I want you to cast the net
Mm-hmm.
on the right side.
Yeah.
And he says, of the ship, and you shall find. Look what it says, almost done. They cast it forth, and now they were not able to draw it for the multitude of fishes.
Mm-hmm.
See, what they could not do
That's right.
on their own,
Without Jesus, that's it.
even going back,
Mm-hmm.
they could not find success
That's right.
going back.
That's right.
And in the midst of their failure, Jesus tells them, I want you to drop your net on the right side, and you're going to catch fish.
Mm-hmm.
Because of their failure, they're ready to listen.
Yeah.
Last time he told Peter to do it was hesitation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's right.
But this time, they dropped it. And when they dropped it, they caught fish.
That's right. That's right.
They caught fish, they caught fish, they caught fish. And I just want to hurry up just so I can do a couple points to get out here. They caught fish now. And Jesus is down on shore. He's got his grill out. He got fish and he got bread on the shore.
Uh-huh.
Peter strips out of his clothes
Mm-hmm.
because he's working hard.
Yeah.
He's working hard. John speaks up and said, Peter, it's the Lord. And so he understands it's the Lord. So he jumps in the water and everything like that because he didn't want Jesus to see him naked.
Mm-hmm.
And as I concluded, as I close, that he comes to land and he helps out with the fish. And the Bible said that they caught 153 or 150 something fish.
Uh-huh.
Great fish.
Great fish.
No,
They were big.
Listen.
They were big fish.
No minnows.
No sardines.
No sardines.
Amen. Yeah.
NIV version says large fish.
Mm-hmm.
But that word means gigantic. Listen. They caught the biggest fish that they ever caught in their lives. That was not the miracle. But the miracle was the net.
Didn't break.
Didn't break. Because the net did not have the capacity
To hold.
to hold
That's right.
that many fish. So that means that when the Lord is involved, you won't lose a thing.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
Not one of the fish was lost
Yeah, yeah.
because the Lord was involved.
That's right. That's right.
That was the last time
Mm.
that Peter ever said, I'm going fishing. It comes a time in our lives when we say, you know what? It's not going to work out. I'm going to give God everything.
That's it.
Listen. I know things get tough and rough in our lives. We know things get shaky. But it's no time to go back to try to do things which we're familiar with. Because you have to realize in your life that you outgrew some of those things. And the reason why it don't work, because you're not the same person
That's right.
that you used to be 3.5 years ago.
That's right.
They're not the same individual. So what they used to work with them 3.5 years ago won't work for you right now. That man that used to date 3.5 years ago, he come back now. It might be for a little while, but you'll realize that if you grew, that relationship
That's it.
just won't come to fruition.
That's right. Amen.
Remember that story I told you? And when God told me about that dove and he told me about the pig, I understand exactly what God was telling me about. For me, he was saying that if I want to stay in health, keep my sanity, and keep doing what he called me to do, don't go back.
That's right.
Because it wasn't the ministry, it was people.
That's right. That's right. Amen. Amen.
It was people.
That's right. That's right.
And as I close, did it still call? Yes. Do I answer?
No.
They stopped for a couple of, they stopped for like 3 months.
Then try it again.
They tried again. You still talking about?
Yes, absolutely.
Just to see. And everything come up and says, God said, Andre,
Remember?
don't go
Don't go back. Don't go back. Amen.
because they're not attached to your purpose.
That's right. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Only thing they're
Amen.
attached to is what they're familiar
With.
with.
Amen.
So God wants us to get over the very thing that we are familiar with. You can check your friends. Check some of your friends you're with.
All right now.
Amen.
Check them out.
All right now.
Do you hang with them?
Amen.
Because they can bring up the old stories. You remember? Mom, girl, you remember it? Yeah, no, I don't remember that. God brought me over those stories.
That's right.
And over that.
That's right.
Amen.
To go to somewhere,
That's it. Somewhere.
somewhere.
Amen.
So next time you find yourself in a bind and you don't know what to do, don't go backwards.
That's it. Don't go back. That's it.
Don't go back. Because it won't
It won't work.
work.
Amen. Amen.
Only time you're going to find success is when Jesus get back involved in your life. as I close, he already had fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he already had it.
Always cooking it.
Already had it ready.
Already prepared for him.
Let's see that. Look, he already had the fish. Look, he had the fish and bread.
That's it. Not just the meat by itself. Come on.
He had the fish. He had the fish and bread. Had the coals. Had the food prepared and ready for them when they come to land. And that's what God does for us.
Yes, he does.
He prepared things for us ahead of time.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
He didn't want none of that fish, but he wanted to show them, you can't have success
Yes. Without me.
without me.
Outside of me. Amen. That's right. Amen.
If you decide to go back, you're going to be a failure. And since you're going to fail there, you may as well come with me
Right.
so you can be successful.
That's right.
I'm going to close with this because I said, for time purpose, I know y'all want to watch the NFL. I don't have no team. I have no team because one day while we were sleeping, the Colts just left. They just left Baltimore. Ever since then, the Raiders won around with it. You see, you're talking about the Raiders. So I had no team, so I had to worry about watching NFL on Sundays. One guy said, Pastor, what time your church start? What time it end? I know what talking about, they want to watch. One lady called me, she said, what time church start? I said 9:30. Oh, that's too early. I'm thinking, you go to work about, now hopefully you got a job. Go ahead and go out. Father God, in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Lord God, we love you.
Yes,
Lord God, we adore you.
Yes, we
And
do.
Lord God, we thank you
Thank you so much.
that you allow us to see another day
Yes, God.
and another opportunity to
Yes.
call the name of the Lord our God.
Oh, God.
For you said as many as call upon your name, Lord God, shall be
Shall
saved.
be.
Yes, God.
That's
We
a
thank you,
promise.
Lord God, for sealing us,
Thank you.
Thank you,
for
Lord.
covering us.
Yes, God.
The Lord, you said that whatever is in your hands, Lord,
We'll get plucked out.
won't get blocked out.
Yes, God.
That's your word.
Well, we know that we're secure, that we know that we're going.
Yes,
And
God.
so we pray, Lord God,
Yes,
that when obstacles come, the situation come in our lives, like Peter and the rest of the disciples,
yes,
that we don't get in what you got us out of.
yes, God.
And we thank you, Lord
We
God,
thank you now.
that you know how to get us out of it
Yes,
when we get in.
yes, yes,
And
God.
we thank you for how you deal with us
Thank you today.
while we in it.
Yes, Lord.
We thank you that you still call us dear children.
Yes, God.
We thank you, Lord God, that you prepared the food and the plates and everything for us.
Yes, God.
For showing us, Lord God, that the only way that we'll find success,
Wow.
Lord God, is in you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's not in our ability,
No, it's not. God.
not in our intellect,
No, it's not.
but Lord, success is only found in you.
Yes, God.
When we heed to what you tell us to do,
Yes, Lord.
we thank you, Lord God,
Thank you.
that the same net, Lord God, that we failed in,
Yes,
is the
God.
same net
Yes.
you let us have success in.
Yes, you will, God.
We thank you, Lord God,
We thank
that he
you.
went from having no fish to 150 plus,
Yes, God.
because you was in the midst of it.
Yes, you will.
And Lord, we thank you for your call.
We
Yes,
thank
Lord.
you.
We thank you for the things you have for us personally.
Yes.
And we give you the glory.
We
We give you the honor.
Yes,
In
God.
Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. That's time we have our tithes and all.
Amen. Amen.